Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Inner Health Project, and I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Hannah Getty, the lovely Hannah Getty. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I loved our last episode on self-massage. I'm still looking forward to trying some of that. I'm a little intimidated, maybe by the hamstring thing, but I'm looking forward to the lower back thing. So anyway, that's not our conversation today. Today, we're actually talking about thriving versus surviving. So I'm super interested to hear why this is on your mind, because I do think it's an important topic, but from where Hannah sits, why does this matter to you, or what are you seeing?
Right. And I was thinking about this for a while, and I thought, are we just in survival mode? Like, are we just going throughout our day and we're not rising to be the better selves that we can be? We're just going through the motions. Are we just surviving from one day to the next, and we're not able to create what we need to create? We're not able to really be these incredibly amazing people that we want to be, that our souls want us to be, but instead we're just going from one day to the next. That
you just made me think of the question, like, well, how should it be? Because I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people could relate to, like, if we got honest, you have to get honest about it, right? And sometimes when you're in survival mode, it's very hard to be honest, because I don't feel like I have the luxury to entertain some other option right now. I just have to keep going and make it through. But when we get to that space that opens up where we can get really honest about it, like, well, how should it be?
How should your life be? It should be the way that you feel empowered and you feel energized about what you're doing. It should be the life that you want, the life that you want to create. And I think that when you're in survival mode, it's not that life. You're not really in the driver's seat. You're just going through the motions of life. And just think about how incredible our society would be if people were thriving instead of just surviving from one day to the next. And you know, I've struggled with this, like, okay, well, but this is reality. Reality has to sink in. You have to come down from the clouds. You're just being idealistic. But I think that you should dream big, because there's people out there that have done a lot of really amazing things. So if somebody else is being able to do it, why can't you do it? What is it about you in your own life that is stopping you from becoming this thriving human being that is following what your soul wants you to do?
Yeah, I love that.
So,
do you have any, here's what I'm hearing in this partly is, when we are living from a connection with our soul, like, the experience of life when we do that is thriving. Like, things feel good. We feel good. We feel like we're thriving. How do we, so first of all, that's what I'm hearing. And I believe that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that when you're drawn to something and it feels like a passion, or it feels right, or it's energizing to you, I think that's the way, at least for me, that's the way of your soul or your higher being, or whatever you want to call it, is directing you to the way that you're supposed to go. So yes, I think you're correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I love that. And I'm curious, what have you found to help you get to that place of thriving or connection, the soul connection? Like,
just for slowing down and stopping. A lot of times we get into a routine, and that's just we're just on autopilot. We're just stuck in that routine. But maybe just take a step back and just stop what you're doing and stop thinking the same. Try to, stop that thinking machine and just observe what's going on, instead of just being in that pattern. Disrupt your pattern, just stop, observe, and take note. And don't judge yourself. Just take note of what's going on in your life, and try to have more of like a bird's eye view of it. See the whole picture instead of just oh, I got to get to work today, or I got to do this, or I got to do that. Yeah, those things are important, but are they stopping you from looking at the big picture? Mm-hmm. So I'd say step back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's really good. I think that's hard though, because I mean, I can say it's hard for me and I love my quiet time. So there's an element where it's like, I really like the quietness and where I get to connect. I do an exercise called active imagination, which is kind of a meditative / dialogue with whoever you really want to dialogue with, but, and a journaling practice. But, I also find that taking a step back sometimes I don't feel sometimes like I have the time to do that. Right. Like there's too much on my plate. There's too many projects. The kids got to go to school. I got to walk the dog. There's a lot of stuff. And so what have you found to, I don't know, make that okay to take that time for yourself?
Well, I mean, you just have to, we make time for the things that are important to us. So even if you have to walk the dog or you're doing the dishes,
right,
you can still take that step back. You can still process things. It's not like you need a lot of, you're doing something, like the dishes, but you can also let your mind wander, and you can also use those times in your life to meditate or to just observe what's going on in your life. It doesn't have to be a sit down practice where you're going to the yoga studio and you're meditating for an hour.
Right.
You can fit it into your life anytime, anywhere, anytime that you have just some capacity for your mind to process things.
Right. Oh, that's really good. There was a maybe it's a Franciscan monk or some type of some person, some spiritual person, but they used to talk about, I think they wrote a book even about it. They were talking about practicing the presence of God, and it was done in their daily, like peeling potatoes, washing dishes. And I love the idea of that. Sometimes it's very easy to be task oriented when I'm doing dishes. I'm like, get the dishes done, walk the dog, do the thing, right? And it's like the whole enjoyment of that, like my brain is not who I'm being in the moment of that work of walking the dog or doing the dishes, is this task oriented, disconnected person, and just as even open, connected, and present, doing those same tasks.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's really enjoying that journey instead of just trying to get to the end, Right. So, and then while, say you've processed it for a while and you've you just took a step back. So now you feel, okay, I need to change something in my life. I would say then from there, just start imagining how you want your life to be. How does that feel inside your body? How does that feel if you present yourself with a new way of living? I mean, just be open to it. Dream big. If there's something in your life that you've always wanted, but maybe you've told yourself, reality is not going to let me have that. Well, allow yourself to have that in your being, in your mind. Allow yourself to feel that, and then write it down maybe, or say it out loud, or you can even create like one of those vision boards. I don't know if you've ever done that.
Yeah, I've done it.
But those are really good ways to get those outside of you and see them visually, and they're already manifested. You've written it down, you've created it in a picture. You've manifested it already. Now you just have to get there.
Right.
You just have to take those steps to get to where you want your life to go, where your soul is telling you to go. So,
do you have any books that you've read that you really enjoy, or that have been instrumental in how you find connection or how you manifest things?
Not of lately. I mean, I read the Brené Brown.
Brené Brown. Yeah.
Brené Brown.
Yeah.
I just
Daring Greatly, was it that one?
Yeah, that's more about being vulnerable, but actually, what was it? Eckhart Tolle. Something of Now. Power of Now. Yes, Power of Now.
Yep. Okay.
That one was really, really helpful. That just being present and right. I really like that book.
That's awesome.
I would recommend reading that if you would like to just to know how to be more present in your life.
Yeah. I kind of want to ask you where there's a lot of on the spectrum of spirituality, right? And you can totally decline this question. So you just totally feel free to be like, I'm not going to answer that question. But I'm super curious because I think part of what makes these shows so great is like, our tribe finds us. And so, when we sort of lead with the things that we really think and believe, like our tribe goes, oh yeah, me too. And then other people who aren't in our tribe go, I think you're crazy. So, so I'm curious, like in the world of, for me, I'll lead with me just so I throw myself under the bus here if anybody's offended listening to this, but I really like the conversation of manifesting things. Like we are our thoughts. I believe that we're our thoughts. What we think gets created out here through vibrations. I think there are some quantum physics that can support that. So when it comes to, so Abraham Hicks is a great book, an author who wrote stuff about manifesting and how do we feel good, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of the, I was gonna say the Kool-Aid that I drink, but I don't need to say it that way. That's just the, that's just sort of,
okay, you can say that.
That's just kind of what I've come to believe about how life works. And so I'm curious, as you've gone through your own, we can call it a spiritual journey because I think life is a spiritual journey. If you've gone through that, how do you see things?
Well, it took me a long time. I mean, at first, like manifesting, and I've heard about The Secret and all that stuff, and sure. I was like, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think what you focus on and what you put your attention on is what is going to grow in your life. And that's a way of manifesting, because if you're always focusing on the negative part, or if you're always thinking about, well, I'm never going to have enough money, then that's what you're manifesting. You're telling yourself that you're putting that out into the world. You're believing that. So it's like you're making that come true because that's what you're speaking. That's what you're putting out there. Yeah. And it is very hard because we've been conditioned as we were little and growing up. It's like reversing that conditioning. You have to retrain your mind. You have to think differently. And I know I've fallen back into those same old habits.
Me too.
And you just have to like keep going, catch yourself and get back on, and change your mindset back to how you want to be living, how you want to be thriving in your life.
Absolutely. Do you have certain practices that you'll do to get to thriving? Like, do you meditate? Do you have mantras or affirmations? Do you journal? Like, what things do you do, if any?
I journal a lot. And I'll just process things. And I do like doing mundane things. I like cleaning the house because that gives me a chance to be moving, but also my mind can be processing things. Yeah. So I can't sit there and meditate. I've tried it. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
So just finding different things that I can do throughout my day to be more mindful. And that's really worked for me. And the journaling and just even finding a friend and just talking to a friend or somebody, somebody part of your tribe who's
that works too.
Same Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Right. I know. Right.
You can just bounce ideas off of. That's really helpful because just to get another perspective, because sometimes we just get so stuck in our own habits and our own way of thinking that we just need to be slapped in the face a little bit. And, your thinking's off today. So
that's good.
Change course.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good. I think everybody wants to thrive. Everybody wants to feel like they're thriving. And like you said, I think, at least for me, and you said it, I also think everybody can slide back into the surviving sort of way of being. And I also think nobody is ever like fully there. Like we never fully arrive. I think we can call it life school. Like it's 80 to 100 years of summer camp. We have an 80 to 100 year summer camp on this planet. And sometimes we let circumstances pull us into different things. But to your point, the faster we can shift our focus or our mindset to the thoughts we want to project, what you think about does grow. So such a good conversation.
Yeah. So now I just want to leave people with something that they can do.
Yeah.
Just pick one thing that you think will help improve your life, help you stop being a survivor and be thriving. So just pick that one thing and be consistent about it, and make sure you do it at least for the next 3 weeks, because it takes 21 days to create a habit. So once you create that habit, you're going to keep doing it, and you might need to change it up a little bit, but just be consistent and keep change the way you're thinking, and then if you need to, seek out a professional if you need to talk to somebody like a therapist, or you need to, maybe you want to get healthier and you need to find a personal trainer. Like, seek out people that can help you stay accountable. Maybe just a friend that can help you stay accountable. Because if you have that accountability, at least for me, I know, that keeps me on task, and that keeps me, feeling like, I'm not alone in this, and somebody else out there is rooting for me. So.
Right. Totally. I think sometimes there are things that I will do that are more conducive to my mind going to constructive places. So like when you said cleaning, your mind can open up. Long car rides for me, my mind will open up. But that's not super practical on a daily basis anyway. So massages are another one for me. Like when I get a massage, my mind melts, and I sort of time stands still, and I can think again. I can rise above all the noise and the fog and the busyness, and I can see clearly on the heels of a massage. So I know that that's what you do. So if people want to schedule a massage, how do they reach you?
You can go to innerhealthproject.com, and you can see all of the blog posts there and watch all the episodes. And then you can also find out more about me and how I work. And there's a book now button if you'd like to book a session with me.
Nice.
You can also find me on Facebook. We do have an Inner Health Project group on there. So just search Inner Health Project on Facebook and find me there.
Awesome. Good stuff, Hannah. Thank you for championing this conversation in the world. Like inner health, I feel like is, it's like a next wave. Like I feel like for 100 years, it was let's build. And now it's like, okay, we've been building, and there's some damage that's happened to our soul, to our health, to all that. And I feel like you bringing this conversation to the world is facilitating something. It's facilitating us asking different questions and seeing different things we sometimes forget or aren't considering. And so I just am super honored to help you spread this message in the world, because I think inner health is a really big deal right now. And I love that you're championing that message.
Well, thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, well, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
All right, see you later.
Okay, bye.